Yes. Ooh. Okay, we're trying something different, guys. I hope this works. If it doesn't, we won't try it again. But tonight we're trying a little something different. So you guys can watch the cards be laid out and everything. And that little bad boy. Okay. Let me just see if I can adjust this real quick. It's a tabletop tripod. And I want to see if I can get the... Okay, I think I got it, right? Look good? Thumbs up. Yes, thumbs up. Okay. First time doing it this way in a really, really long time. So I just want to make sure I kind of have my view correct. Welcome to my crystal cavern. Actually, not really. I have way more than this. This is just kind of what fits here. Anyway, so it is officially halfway to Halloween. So welcome to the stream. And tonight, in the spirit of halfway to Halloween, I have selected an oracle deck and a tarot deck. And how we're going to do it is we're going to go through all the signs, typical, same as always. But, and this reading will be a little bit shorter as a result of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a oracle card. And then I'm going to pull a couple of tarot cards to clarify that oracle card to help it better relate to you and kind of see where the universe wants you to take that message and apply it to where things like that. You'll see what I mean as we go forward. What else? Yeah, so it's going to be a short and simple, but to the point, and it's not going to have less impact than my normal readings, or at least hopefully it doesn't. And this should be able to help you guys like better see the cards, see the messages, see how it kind of all flows through without just necessarily watching my awkward facial expressions as I'm shuffling cards. Anyway, so back to the official halfway to Halloween mark. We are officially 6 months away from October 31st, which is Halloween. And I thought, what better way to commemorate that type of occasion than to give you guys, 6 months of guidance towards, Halloween, or as some people celebrate it as Samhain, which is when the land converts over from, it's in the process of redeveloping itself. So like the death card in the tarot, we change things up, right? Certain things die so other things can be reborn. We have to kind of, if you're a farmer of any type, I grew up in an agricultural community. I always was watching the farmers kill their crops so that they can put new ones in. And that's kind of the implication that you will get from this type of, celebration, or the equinox celebration of this. So without further ado, how I'm going to do this is how I'm going to call for the oracle card to see how, what basic guidance that we need to be giving to each other, or at least getting towards you, going towards the, Samhain or Halloween season for redevelopment. So this is going to tell you, we're going to ask the universe, what do I need to realign? What do I need to redevelop? What parts of me do I need to let go of? Things like that. So we're going to go ahead and ask for some clarification on that. What do I need to let go of so that I can bloom better? So I can kill off the parts of me or the situations surrounding me or anything like that that no longer, and I hate using this term, no longer serve you, because in reality, everything serves you. It's just, what is it serving you? So in some regards, we think that things are still serving us well, when in fact it may be time for us to depart from those situations, people, events, things like that. So that's the type of energy we're going to call on tonight. So we're going to start with the Halloween Oracle, and then we are going to use a deck that I have not used before on this channel because it is fairly new to the channel. So we are going to be using the Deck of the Bastards by Tarot by 7. And this is their Samhain edition. It's a really cool deck. It's like so cool that it doesn't have a real tuck box. They send it to you in that, but look at the backs of these cards, guys. Look how pretty they are. And Deck of the Bastards is a type of deck where they take all different kinds of forms of divination. As you can see, that's one type of card. It'll go into like the Solabusca. It'll go into Classic Rider White. It pulls from all the different styles. And what it does is they've combined them in these decks in order to create, quote, quote, Deck of the Bastards. So it's a mixed culture and a mixed, almost like a mixed medium of the different styles of divination of tarot. So we're going to be using both of those. And without further ado, once again, let's get started on our reading. If you're familiar with my channel, welcome back. If you're new here, hey, why haven't you been here before? But how we usually do it is I go through the astrological signs, pulling messages for each sign. It may resonate with you, it may not. Check your moon, rising, and in some instances, Venus signs, if you're looking for messages towards love or romance or anything like that. If you aren't familiar with what your moon and rising signs are, it is in your astrological chart. And you can get those done, just do a quick Google search, type in, astrological chart, and it's going to ask you a few questions like your birth date, the location of your birth, and the time of your birth. And then you're going to see it pull up a whole bunch of information that pertains specifically to you. So it'll give you your sun sign, which is, what most people utilize. So like I was born on January 11th, so I am a Capricorn as a sun sign, but my moon sign is an Aquarius, and my rising or ascending sign is a Sagittarius. So all three of those signs can apply to me, but my sign that's in Venus is an Aries. So any of those can apply to me during a reading, and they can also apply to you. So if you're unfamiliar with those, go ahead and get those checked out for you. And there are some sites that give you a whole bunch of information pertaining to those and how those relate to the different planetary houses, your personality traits, how you handle anger, how you handle everything. They get way more in depth than just your typical, zodiac sign reading of, oh, I'm an Aquarius, and today, the moon's gonna rise like this and you're gonna feel like this. Okay, it goes way beyond that. You start dealing with a lot more in-depth traits of yourself. So if you're unfamiliar with that, go ahead and check that out for yourself. You might learn some self-discovery. Anyway, so we go through the signs in order from Aries to Pisces. So we're gonna start with that. All right, let's see what information we need to pull for Aries today. What guidance do we have for our Aries? You'll have to forgive me, guys. I polished my nails before doing this because I'm fucking brilliant, right? So I'm trying not to get nail polish on my cards. And if you guys have never seen, which you really haven't seen me shuffle, some people have if you've had a private reading done, but I kind of wait for a card to jump out of the deck, essentially, and not me dropping them. It's an awkward angle right here, guys. So you'll see one card typically will flop out of the deck, and that is the card that applies towards you. And in this instance, we have two. So Midnight Song, Hidden Talents, and Joy, Rejoicing in the Present. So what we did call for attention was, what should we release? What should we, what do we need to redevelop in ourselves? Things like that. So the energy that I'm getting from here is hidden talents. Maybe there's something in you that you haven't really quite presented to the world. Maybe you thought you weren't good enough at something. Maybe it's something that you kind of just left on the back burner and you don't even realize it entirely, that is an attribute that needs to be brought forward. And in the past, maybe you have hidden it for any number of reasons. You were ashamed, afraid, anything like that. Well, right here, and maybe it's something with the Spirit of the Night song, maybe it's something that you only brought out to yourself. It could be that, you're a really good drawer, but you don't have the desire or possibly the self-encouragement to present that to the outside world. But it's because maybe your style of art is just different. Now, different doesn't always mean bad. There's a fan out there for everybody, as we all know. So what you need to maybe do is present that to the world. Maybe start posting your concept art on social media, things like that. Joy, rejoicing in the present. Okay, so if you're one of those people that constantly is waiting for the right time, it'll never be that time. So no time like the present. So maybe you need to let go of the idea that you tend to present the energy of wait and see, or the energy of, well, maybe I'll do it later. You know, maybe right now it's not the right time. Well, if it's not the right time right now, it's not going to be the right time later. And you're going to miss the boat messing around waiting for something that feels right, or, you know, you get what I mean, right? Okay, so let's clarify that Night Song card and see where we are better to apply that. So I'm going to pull 3 cards for the Night Song card, or tried to. Let's see what comes out. I got 2. There's the 3rd one. Okay. You know, it's really hard for you guys to see. Okay, here we go. So I have the Queen of Wands, the Lovers card, and I have the 5 of Cups in the reverse. All right, let me give you guys a little bit more. Ooh, it's a pumpkin. Okay. This thing is awkward. This tripod's awkward. Hopefully I can get it to work. That looks like it might be good. Okay. So with the Lovers card, Night Song, Hidden Talents, lovers don't always have to be relationships. It doesn't have to be romantic relationships with a person. It could be your romantic relationship, your passion with something, someone, someplace. So, or an idea, anything like that. There's something about you that you're not, that when you do tap into it, it makes you feel amazing with this Queen of Wands energy. The Queen of Wands, she is one of those luxurious women. She is fiery. She is, some can call her very vain, but she knows her worth and she shows it, and she has nothing that stops her. So this is definitely pulling into that energy. With the 5 of Cups in reverse, typically when we have the 5 of Cups in the upright, and this is something I love to show people, see how he's focused on the cups that are fallen and spilt? He's not focusing on the cards that are not cards, the cups that are behind him that are still full. I mean, the loss seems greater, and that's why he's focused on it, but there is still some reserve back there. So when we have this card in reverse, it means that you no longer want to focus on those past or hard and heavy feelings that aren't exactly truthful towards your ascension on something. So I think at this point, Aries, you do realize that you need to pursue things that actually make you feel good, that you are positive and aware of, come what may, regardless of what the outside world thinks of it. So at this time, in the next 6 months, you know, you definitely want to just shed your skin, shed those old concepts, shed those things that don't really fulfill you, that don't really make, maybe you're doing stuff just for the sake of what it, of how it pleases people, and doing that isn't making you feel good because it's not showing your true self. It's not showing your greatest attribute. So I'm thinking, you know, what better time than the present, and what better time than now to really kind of shed your skin, to redevelop yourself. And whatever those cards are, really wanted to come out for that joy card. Okay. So we have the Hermit, we have Justice, and we have 5 of Wands in the reverse, as you can see right there. So rejoicing in the present. So the Hermit card. The Hermit card, a lot of people interpret the Hermit as somebody who just is really reclusive, that really secludes themselves, and this may in fact be you, but not necessarily has to be. The Hermit's also somebody who is wise. The Hermit sits back and watches. The Hermit is one of those that sits there and goes, I'll look from the sidelines, and I may not always be participating in it. I may look like I'm being recluse, but when in fact I'm a little bit wiser than the situation, I let things unfold, and I find out that if I didn't get involved, it was probably to my best benefit. So this is somebody who has a lot of wisdom. So what it's asking you for is to dig deep, go in that wiser wisdom. You know, rejoicing in the present is knowing, having that satisfaction of being like, yeah, I know better with this Hermit energy, and that's what I'm getting. Justice, let things fall into place the way they are destined to fall into place. A lot of things right now in the next 6 months may not always be in your control, and that is in your favor. Nobody's asking you to be strong and mighty 24/7. What they're asking you for is to be strong and mighty for one person, and that is you. So you don't have to sit there and, you know, really deal with anybody's illusion of you, their concept of you, because we all know opinions are like what, and everybody has one. So you're no longer, with this Five of Wands in reverse, you're no longer fighting, you know, to give people what they want. You're no longer sitting, you know what, if people are hearing rumors about you, you're like, you know what, fine, fuck you. Go keep hearing those damn rumors and stay the hell away from me, because clearly that's all that matters to you. So that's the type of energy I'm getting. So you're going from, you know, digging deep into yourself, presenting the truer, more authentic person, and you know what, rejoicing in it. Come what may, who the fuck cares, right? And I'm sorry to cuss, but sometimes, like, we need to be a little bit more direct. And as you all know, I am a very direct and cutthroat reader, and I hide nothing. So coming from this energy and utilizing this energy, what I'm seeing for you, Aries, is you definitely need to, like I said, shed the skin, rejoice in who you are. Know that everything is going to line up perfectly anyway, so what the hell are you worried about it for? Anyway, sounds like the next 6 months are going to be amazing for you. So just do the work. Do that part of you that's like, if it's not feeling good and it hasn't been bringing you anything that actually makes you excited about life or makes you excited about a project, you know, just, you know, giving you anything at all in self-satisfaction, then you know what? Don't do it anymore. Let it go. Let it go to the universe. Light, you know, write it down on a piece of paper, light it on fire, blow it into the air, and be like, it's no longer a part of me. And then just be comfortable with you. Even if you stand in a large group of one, that is still you being your true and authentic self. And isn't that something we advocate for? You know, being, you know, unapologetically you. Alrighty. So next we have Taurus. So if your sign resonates with Taurus, if it's on your chart at all, this may apply to you. So we're going to call on the energy of what we need to shed, what we need to redevelop, what we need to find within ourselves within the next 6 months. And hopefully this guidance brings you some resolve and takes you in the direction that you really want to go. All right, so our first card is Winter. The sadness of pausing. So in the wintertime, what happens? Everything kind of goes like stagnant, right? Because we are in a time seasonally where we are acquiescing to whatever the weather brings. So a lot of things kind of go on pause, you know. Our dreams and wants and desires kind of have to wait a little bit because we are so enclosed in the coldness of that time. So that coldness could be our self-doubts, that coldness could be anything. It's something where we have to stop, but just because it's winter outside, and I'll use this example as a content creator, just because one area has to stop, just because it's cold outside, just because it's snowing, just because it's anything, just because the world's falling down, does not mean that a content creator has to stop making content, right? We just got to get a little more creative. We just got to figure out what it is we need to utilize, what it is that we need to do. So from the confinements of where I'm at, how can I still present and do things and, you know, create as a content creator? So if you're like, let's say your YouTube channel involves you being out on the field, but it's, you know, a blizzard outside, what can I do from inside my home? So you have to redevelop your mind, your mental focus. You have to redevelop your motivation. So the second card we have here is Hearth. Happiness in our hearts and homes. So that lends hands with what I just said with the Winter card. I know I didn't look at both before I said that, which is kind of ironic. But, you know, sometimes it's telling you when other things have to pause, we have to redevelop ourselves from within. We have to utilize what we already have. Instead of wanting more, be humble with what you have and use that to its greatest potential. So maybe that is the mindset that you need to redevelop in the upcoming months, Taurus, is if you're limited in any way, let's say finances are low, you know, we've got these horrendous gas prices and a lot of people can't travel. A lot of people can't do the things that they want to do because everything's gone so sky high, from gas to groceries to anything, right? So with those things that are out of your control, what can you do to handle things in your control? Maybe that's the mindset you need to redevelop. But let's go ahead and clarify this Winter card. Alrighty. And that landed on its side. Da-da-da, da-da-da. All right. So we have the Chariot card. Okay. We have the Chariot card in the upright, Lovers in reverse, Justice in the reverse. So the Chariot card, forward movement. That's something that you're really truly desiring to do in the upcoming months, and rightfully so. Who doesn't? Who wants to sit there and, you know, sit on their ass and wait for their dreams to come to you? No, you get out there and you make that shit happen, right? But your desire to go forward, considering that everything's slowing down in your life, something's at a pause, something's at a standstill, something's out of your control. You know, right now, maybe you're not feeling the passion that you once felt. Maybe you're like, oh shit, I have to stay in this one situation. I have to feel stagnant right now, and it's not making me feel my truest, authentic self. And with the Justice card in reverse, you're like, maybe that's not exactly fair. And you know, you're kind of being stuck in that energy, and that's something that you need to shed, Taurus. You need to stop focusing on, you know, what can't happen. You need to refocus on what can happen. It's like the people that say, man, I got to go to work every day. No, 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 sisters and brothers, you get to go to work every day. There are some people out there that cannot physically even walk to participate in their job, and would much rather be doing that than having to be confined to a wheelchair or other, you know, unforeseen circumstances. So the things that we take for granted every day are a luxury to others, and that's where you need to redevelop your mental focus at this time. So in that regard, yeah, you might have something that had to stop. You may have had to give something up. You may have had to redevelop yourself in a way that you didn't foresee happening, but that doesn't mean that things stop. That doesn't mean that the world stops spinning, right? That doesn't mean that you have to limit yourself. You just have to figure out a new way. So, with hearth, happiness, and in our hearts and homes, I have the Knight of Cups, I have the Six of Swords in the reverse, and I have the Knight of Swords. This is a lot of sword energy, so a lot of mental energy, a lot of redevelopment, emotional and mental. So swords are your air elements, so that's all the stuff that we think about. That's all that happens in our mind. I keep tapping this. I'm sorry, guys. And cups is things that we feel. So going forward, you know, you need to present to yourself that you have the ambition of understanding your circumstances and redeveloping yourself. You need to come forward with that understanding that, yes, I know I can't change this a whole lot, but I can change the way I feel. I can change the way that I present myself to it. And that's what you can do. And with the Six of Swords energy right here in the reverse, yeah, you don't have to look at things as a loss all the dang time. You can look at things as, all right, I understand that I can't control this. I understand that, you know, I have to redevelop myself. I'm not real thrilled about it because I thought things were going fine before. But you know what? You're no longer stuck in that, like, I'm giving up. You're not giving up. You're just redeveloping. And with that Knight of Swords energy, you need to not only, you know, do the physical work, but you need to mentally motivate yourself. Things come a lot easier when our mind feels secure in the decisions that we have to make. So once you get your mind motivated, everything else happens real easy. It's just like when you're dieting, right? You know, if your mind's focused on it, you know, eating right happens on its own. When you're seeing the, you know, the pounds drop or anything like that, it's easier to motivate yourself towards those healthier choices and alternatives, right? Same thing goes with anything else in your life. If you are mentally fixed on it and you're mentally motivated by it, the physical aspects of things just kind of roll out on their own. So that's what you need to do, is really start doing it, seeing it, being it, and things will just kind of happen on their own. Alrighty, Taurus. So the next 6 months is a real good call to attention for you. Alright, so Gemini. So for our wonderful Geminis in the chat or viewing, this is for you, because this is a timeless reading. So anytime you watch this is when it applies to you. So let's see what we got for Gemini. These ones are, I am not talking about your diet, Adam. Well, maybe I am. How do you know? How do I know? All right, let's see what we got here. These cards are big for my hands, believe it or not. They're a little awkward to they're a little awkward to shuffle. So there's our first. I gotta figure out how to film this to get it. You might have Taurus in your chart. Nope, you did not miss Capricorn yet. We kind of just got started, so we are only on Gemini. Oops. I keep freaking hitting this thing. Okie dokie, artichoke. So right here we have Skull of Darkness, Blind Spots, and Lady Dia de los Muertos, or Lady de los Muertos. Acceptance and equality. So maybe an aspect of yourself, Gemini, is that you're not seeing things in the light of whether you like it or not, this is the way it needs to be. And you need to be okay with it. And you need to be, in other words, don't be a spoiled little freaking brat just because something isn't going your way. It's probably one of the things that isn't serving you, in life, is the fact that you could be one of those people that's like, yeah, but I work really, really hard, so I should be able to reap my outcomes, and I work just as hard as this other person, so I should be paid, or the fruition should be just as good, if not more. And, does that always happen? No, it doesn't always happen. Hey, Chad. So some things that we all go through this. If I work just as hard as Brian, I should be paid just as well as Brian. Well, Brian happens to be your supervisor, so he's going to make a few more pennies on the dollar than you, right? So is that always fair? No, but you know what? Maybe Brian put in, a couple more years to get the position he's in, and therefore he's paid for it better. Your time will come. But some of us just really are like, no, I want what I want. We feel a lot of entitlement. One of the new wave developments of ourselves in the last, I want to say even 20 years, but more specifically that I've noticed in the last 15, is some severe self-entitlement. And if you didn't work for it, if it ain't yours, it ain't yours. All right? And you need to get out of the mindset of, I deserve it just as much as that guy. Okay, so you say, right? And that's the mental mindset that I try to shed all the time. And I even try to imply it towards people that I love and care about. Is like, instead of saying why you, say why not you. When bad stuff happens and people are like, why me? I'm like, well, what makes you so much better than anybody else going through some shit? So for the Goal of Darkness blind spots, we have, that was upside down. This was upside down. Okay. Knight of Wands. So you definitely need to apply yourself in a way, like I said, where you don't think that everything should just be given to you because you've done the work. Sometimes the process of development on anything is a long one. So sometimes some people do get things quicker than others, and we all know that. But, does it make us necessarily feel great? No, sometimes it can be, a mental eraser. It can be something that makes us, it can be daunting. It can make us not want to continue doing something. Find it in you to continue doing it. Find it in you to really just know that this is a process, all right? Ace of Coins in the reverse. The reason why a lot of the opportunities that you've wanted haven't really come into fruition is because you get so blinded by what you want. You're not focusing on what you need. You're not focusing on needs met. You're focusing on, I have to obtain more. So the Fool card in reverse with the Ace of Coins in reverse, meaning you may be thinking that you're doing things strategically and to the best benefit of you, when actually, in fact, because of that mental mindset that you have and that application of yourself towards whatever it is you're going through, might be what's kicking you from beneath. That might be what's grabbing you. Sometimes the Fool card, he's not stupid when he's in his upright, by no means at all. He is one of those people that, hasn't really done it before. So he's willing to take those. And as you can see, the call word up here is leap of faith. He's willing to do whatever it is that needs to get done. He's willing to just come what may it. But this time you want to be a little bit more strategic. So that's why he's in the reverse. You need to take those opportunities. You need to take those challenges and do them, but be smart about them. In this situation, one of the messages I'm getting through with this is, most specifically, the reason why things aren't coming to you the way you want them to is you're not challenging yourself enough. And you know what? You're just not, when the ship comes in, you're always like, no, maybe not this time. Sound familiar to you? I think it might. All right. So let's figure out what acceptance and equality. All right. Let's figure out what the message is for that. How to better apply that. And if anybody sits there and complains about the way I shuffle, like someone did in one of my other videos that said, oh my God, you shuffle like a poker dealer. Yeah, I do. I certainly do. Grew up playing cards with family on holidays. I am from a Mexican family, and that's something that we constantly did. And I'll tell you this much. The way I shuffle my deck has nothing to do with the way you shuffle yours. I don't tell you how to touch yours. Don't tell me how to touch mine. Alrighty, so there's one. And I'm not damaging my dang cards, okay? So that person got really snobby about it. Maybe they don't have as many opportunities with decks as I do. A lot of people know that I have quite a few decks. Where did that card go? I dropped a card. There it is. My assistant picked it up. All right. And like I said, maybe some people don't have as much opportunity with decks as I do. I am sponsored by major manufacturers, so I get a lot of decks. So it's not that I'm taking them for granted. It's just, you know, I don't have to use the same one as frequently. So if I'm a little bit harder on my deck, it's not such a bad thing. All right, Queen of Swords in the reverse. The Hanged Man in the upright. No, it's in the reverse. As well as the King of Wands in reverse. Okay, and I do read reversals, as you all know. If that didn't dawn on you in the last few readings I've done. Okay, so Queen of Swords, when she is in the reverse, see, I love the Queen of Swords, and a lot of you know she's probably one of my favorite queens in the tarot. When she's in her upright, she's very within her realm. She's very regal. She's probably the most royal of the cards to me because she knows how to fight. And remember, this is swords, so it's air energy, and so it's, you know, mental, mindset, and concept. So in her mind, you know, she's been through battles. She's been through all her battles, so she knows what it takes to get through this stuff. Okay? So she's very, very professional. She's very, very aware, right? She's very, very confident. That's a big word with her. When she's in the reverse, you know, and one of the big thing is mentally. So she knows how to speak real well, you know, when she's in her upright. When she's in the reverse, that professionalism goes right out the door and bitch walks in. Okay, so Queen, I would say Queen of Swords in reverse, thou art bitch, because her censor comes off completely. She's going to tell you like it is. She's going to get it done like it is. She's going to lose her couth. She's going to just be, it's that opposing side where you're more put together and you're more held together when, you know, something challenges you and that, you know, that cloak comes off essentially. You're like, you know what, I'm going to tell you like it is and I don't give a shit what you think about it. And they're not lying. She's not a liar. It's just her wording choice, her action choice is very opposite of the professionalism of her. That doesn't make her wrong. That doesn't make her, you know, always right, but it doesn't mean that, you know, she's unauthentic. She's extremely authentic. It just means, you know, that she's done playing the nice game. She's done looking, you know, polished and poised. Okay. And with the Hanged Man in the reverse, so the Hangman, he kind of has in many ways to me this, like the way the Hermit watches. The Hangman does it because he's like, you know what, I'm willing to put myself on the back burner. I'm willing to, you know, be the sacrifice. In other words, I'm willing to sacrifice. And in the reverse, they're no longer willing to do that. They're no longer willing to put themselves, you know, in a situation where they allow somebody to eat from the table first. They're like, no, I've done that my whole life, or I've done that the whole existence of this situation, and I no longer want to. And with the King of Wands in the reverse, so where the King of Wands is this very fiery, honorable, you know, very almost vain, but very assured. He has a lot of confidence. When that is challenged and it's in the reverse, he's one of those just narcissistic almost type energy. And this all comes into play right here. So acceptance and equality. Shedding these attributes will give you more vibrancy and more of a segue towards this initial card. So I'm definitely getting, these are the things you need to work on. These are the things you need to really rip out of your life is, you know, get rid of the bitchiness, get rid of, you know, I'm going to do things the way I want to, and to hell with everybody. Get rid of those mindsets. You know what? You don't have to feel like you're always the last one served. You don't have to feel like this. You don't have to feel like I'm always the one that has to sacrifice. I'm always the one that has to give up. No, eat your portion. Do your thing. This one, Cassie, this is the deck of the Bastard Samhain edition from Tarot by Seven. Really, really good deck. There's an original deck of the Bastards. I have that on my shelf over there. And you can get these in the abridged version, and they're like smaller. And I have small hands, so I love anything that's like smaller and abridged because I can shuffle them better. But really great deck. Anyway, back to the reading. But yeah, you don't have to eat last. You don't have to be the person that's like, I have to give up. I have to give in. I have to let somebody else first. No, you do you. You make sure that you are equal, that everybody is getting what they are, dare I say, entitled to, but their portion. If they've earned that, that they're getting it. If they're, you know, if it's supposed to be equal, make sure all portions are equal. If it's not, it's like working in a group. You guys remember when you had group projects in school, and there was always one that really did most of the work, and there was always that one that, you know, half-ass showed up, and, or if at anything, and showed up on the day you turned in the project or had to do the presentation, and that fucker was the one that wanted the A2 when everybody else did the work. Yeah, you need to out that type of shit in your life. You need to be like, yeah, you didn't show up, I'm tattletaling on you. You didn't freaking come in, and you didn't put in on this. You're not putting out on this. We're not putting out on this if you didn't put in on this. Just like last night when Fluff did the live stream, if you guys didn't catch that, where he went down the haunted Dogwood Road, and everybody's like, oh, you know, if, let's see if he mentioned, like, let's see if she'll hop in the car with me. And I'm like, if she didn't put in on that gas, she can get her ass out of the car. I'm one of those people, you know, unless I really, really decide to give you, of myself, if I really, really decide to sacrifice for the betterment of somebody else, and I do that often, that's fine. I've made that choice. But don't put yourself in situations where other people are taking advantage of you because you feel that you need to do that. Nope, that actually makes us feel like we need to come out and be our bitchy selves and things like that. Maybe in some situations for other people, the story for you is maybe you need to bring out these types of energies where you're like, nope, I'm going to do things the way we're supposed to. I don't care how my tongue sounds to you. I'm going to spew my voice. I'm going to spew what I need to do. And if that makes you like question your integrity, like how I never tell on anybody. I never tell somebody that, you know, I never out somebody. I never make people feel like they're not involved or they're not a part of something. Sometimes we have to tell our integrity to hush hush, okay? And, you know, kind of be that person that's like, yeah, you know what? Do it in a classy way, though. Don't just, you know, sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm going to just spew word vomit and hate. No. There's always a very tactful way of doing everything. The best revenge is always served cold. And remember that. Wait for people to fall off their own grid, because they always do. A deceitful person will always fall off their grid. People that have no integrity, they don't stick around very long anyway, so don't worry about it. Alrighty. So Gemini, good messages for you. And Cancer, let's see what we got going on for you. Let's see what your happy little halfway to Halloween reading is bringing for you to redevelop yourself in the next 6 months. Hey, Urban Nexium. Hey, my vamp. If I'm missing people coming in, most of you will be informed as you come in that I don't always interact with my chat. If I do very sparingly because I focus my energy on the reading. Look at this one. Trick or Treat, Mischief and Play, and the Witch. The Earthly Weaver of the Worlds. So, I just got through talking about people doing things cleverly, right? You know, just let things kind of go the way they need to go, because the universe has a way of outing people better than we do. So, trick or treat, mischief and play. Be your clever, authentic self. Don't worry about putting energy towards something as unserving as hate or unserving as worry and stress. Those things are meant to damn your spirit. They really are. They do not. If there's one thing that doesn't serve people, it is stress, and it is, hatred, blind hatred or even directed hatred. So, what I will tell you involve you being, doing your just being your natural, spunky, sporadic self, but just know that, over the back of your shoulder, you know what's up. You know when someone's being lying and deceitful, and you know when someone's not being, their true authentic self. But let the universe take care of it. It has way more in its arsenal than we do. So the witch, the earthly weaver of the world. So you know what? Do your thing is what it's telling you. It's going to have you just be able to combine and blend. The witches throughout history are known as manifestors. They are known as, just like the magician card in the classic tarot, he uses all his elements to make things happen. You do the same. So let's get some clarification on this trick or treat card. Let's see what we got here. And these cards are really cool. I know I keep talking about the cards, but they're with that like Lenin type of cardstock. They have great buoyancy and they are waterproof. So I can be a little bit more harder on my decks. There we go. La, 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 la. Alrighty. So we have the Nine of Wands, and this is when things take their turn. Remember we were just talking about that? All right. So, this is when, battle's done and you've overcome things, but you're kind of like, damn, that took a lot out of me. But things are going to start turning around. With the nines, this is almost to fruition. So in the scale of 9 to 10, 1 being a start and 10 being the completion of something, we're at a 9 here. So 9 of Wands is like all that energy has gone through. You've already applied it. It's already happened. Battles are done. And things are about to take a different turn, right? So you also have here the Strength card, and you also have the Hermit. You know what? Mischief and play. Sit back. Wait for it to happen. Remember when I gave you that direction on letting things just kind of play out the way they need to? That takes some strength. That takes some, in my culture and my Mexican culture, we say granos. It takes some balls to sit there and that takes some, you have to take a few breaths sometimes and sit there and be like, all right, fool, I see you, and I'm gonna let shit happen. I'm gonna let it come out, and because it always comes out, right? It always comes out. Anybody be a turd always comes out, right? It always does. Whether you got to take some stuff to help it through or what, it's gonna come out. And so that's what I'm seeing right here. The nastiness of other people, the nastiness of a situation, whatever, it is going to flow through. So you just right now stick to you. Stick to knowing that you are, you're okay. Whether you're beaten down, beaten up, whatever, you're okay. You're in this. Things are going to change. Just sit back and wait for them to happen. Play. All right. So let's get this witch card here clarified. Let's see how this is going to play out. One more. Okay. Knight of Cups. So going forward with your positive energy, going forward with the things that make you feel good. You know, going forward with, you know, coming out of this, going forward and being like, ha, you ever seen that person that just like struts back into a situation after everybody's cards fell down? You know, haha, cards. But you know what, after the liars are exposed, people, they just strut them, hey girl, like that's that energy right there. And with the witch, remember I said with the magician card, here it is. You know, right here, utilize yourself, utilize all your elements. You know what, you know, to stay on this track, utilize what you've got, right? And with the Seven of Wands, yes, you are going to be challenged. You are going to be challenged. But a clever person knows how to utilize all their assets in order to get through something. Yeah, maybe you're not trained for this situation. Maybe it blindsided you. Maybe that, you know, if it has to do with somebody testing your integrity and testing, you know what? Here's an example. When people piss us, when people get pissed off, they get mouthy, right? They sit there and be like, you know what, I'm gonna tell the whole world all your shit. And you know what ends up making you look like? Somebody with a loose lip, somebody who can't hold a secret, somebody that even if you're not letting everything out, you're still letting some things out. You're a loose cannon. Who trusts a loose cannon? Nobody. Who trusts somebody who's going to spill everything? Nobody. Even if I'm a spectator and I'm not in that situation and I see you spewing out everybody's dirty, dark secrets, I am never going to trust you with a damn thing. And that's just because I've seen people, you know, go out there and you know, why would I tell somebody something that they can use against me at any time if they decide one day not to like me? You know, come on now. Nobody's going to do that. How you present yourself in the general sense of something is the way people that you don't even know are watching you are perceiving you. Play. Be clever. Don't let your mouth overpower your ass. Okay, we all know that one, right? So utilize things better. If you want to sit there and tell somebody like, oh really, you think I'm that big of an a-hole or whatever, stick around and find out how big of an asshole I am. All right, you know, or find out that I'm not, because you treat people accordingly. So you are not what you are. You are not what other people think you are. You are what you think other people think you are, right? And that's the way we perceive ourselves. I am not what somebody says I am. I am not what I say I am. I am what I think other people say I am. And we wear those all the time. You know, we sit there and go, okay, well, if you're going to think I'm an asshole, I might as well act like an asshole, right? You've heard that story before? So, yeah, you know what? Be a little bit more clever. Be a little bit more resourceful. Don't sit there and be like, I'm going to start fires, because you know what? Fires start on their own. At least where I live. We live in an area where shit catches on fire all the time. It gets hot here. And I don't have to wait for fires. I don't have to spark the match. People do that on their own. They always do. All right. So use that going forward. All right. That's a good message for anybody, but specifically for you, Cancer. That was your message. Moving along to our wonderful Lions of the Leos. So let's see what the next 6 months wants you to purge, wants you to redevelop, Leo. Let's see what we've got going on for you. Normally I'd only pull one oracle card, but for this I decided to pull two, just because sometimes they blend, sometimes they don't. You know, take what resonates, leave the rest, is what I tell people. You know, and if you don't want to take anything from this at all, go for it. I don't give a shit. There is probably a baby shark or a cocoa melon channel or something you can watch. And my wonderful people in blue, my wonderful moderators know that if you act up in the chat, we do what? We send people to either the candy ass corner for those that want to start shit, or the crybaby corner for those that want to complain. Either way, you don't get to interfere with my chat or my live. We're here to spread a more positive message. So that's what we're going to do. Now, normally, Miss Tarot will start her readings with some tea. And what I mean by that is I talk about a situation in this world. And will you give me a card already? I'll talk about something that is, you know, slightly on the gossipy side, or a world development, or what have you, that is pulling attention at this time, whether it's my personal life or just, you know, pop culture or whatever. And today I'm not doing that, but you will want to catch next week's reading when I do have some tea. So we have Hearth, happiness in the hearts and homes. So we already know what that one was like, right? You know, creating that sense of self within you, creating that sense of balance within you, you know, starting with center of self and going forward with that. Virgo is not done yet. Virgo is coming up after this. This is Leo. So eternal love. Love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. So what I'm getting from this is to focus really on you, what's in your home, things like that. You know, the passions that you have in this world. Focus on those. Get those straight. Maybe you haven't really focused on those things in quite some time, and you need to. So that is what I'm straightforward getting the message on. But let's get some clarifiers. Let's see if we can get some stuff a little bit more directed. Alrighty. Let us clarify this Hearth card for wonderful Leos. And if you haven't caught on, I am very unapologetically me. I don't have time for a lot of bullshit. I don't do it in my readings. I don't do it in my personal life. I just do me. Oh, you got 4 cards. Should we take them? Yes, we shall. Okay. Which, happiness in our hearts and homes, you have right off the bat the 10 of Cups. And as you can see at the top, the keywords on this one is joy and family. So this one really wants you to get back into the systematics of being good in your home, in yourself, with your people. Now, that doesn't always have to mean like, oh, your absolute family. That could be your soul tribe. That could be whatever it is. It could be your workflow. This could be anything. Apply it as it needs to be applied. And that's the way that's the full direction I am taking this is, you know, you need to really and right here you have the Empress. So the Empress is very nurturing. She's very intuitive. She knows her shit. She's very motherly. She's, you know, this is something where you need to mother your relationships. You need to nurture those things. And right here with the Death card, you have new things coming. You have redevelopments, and that's what it wants you to do. The Death card came out with the 8 of Wands. Now, usually this is like swift communication, but when it's in the reverse, this can mean like right, it says right here, frustration, lack of communication. This is when lines get blurred, right? And with this Death card near it, it could either be telling you to let go of things that you can't control, you know, the speed of something. Don't get frustrated. Don't get frustrated. What the fuck is frustration going to do for you, right? So what it's telling you to do instead of getting frustrated with it is let things go the way they need to go, because new things are always going to come. You know, don't worry about a door that's swinging open and closed. Just be like, I don't need that damn door. Fine. You know, keep that door. If you want to keep coming in and out, I'll just go to the next one that provides me with what I need, the security, what have you. So that's what I'm seeing from here. Get rid of things that frustrate us, nurture the things that matter to us. Imagine that. Alrighty, so let's clarify some eternal love right here. Let's see where it wants us to place that in our redevelopment. Ooh. Here we go. That didn't take much now, did it? Ta-da-da. Ace of Cups in the reverse. So Ace of Cups, usually when you see it in the upright, everybody's like, oh, this is a new relationship. This is something emotional. And when it's in its upright, it just means lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of emotion. So if you see this with like the Lovers card and stuff like that, it can indicate new love offers, strong feelings towards something. So when it's in the reverse, that means either holding them back or absent thereof. Maybe what you've had happen here is you've distanced yourself from something and it really wants you to focus back on it. It wants you to start celebrating things. It wants you to start hanging out with your people. All right. So that's what I'm seeing right here, you know. And you know, you right here, with the 10 of Wands in the reverse, up all you're carrying too much. Let it go. Let it go. I mean, some people can say that this does mean to, you know, avoid responsibility or anything like that. But what I'm seeing from this is make good choices, but learn how to live a little. Do the things you're passionate about. People, places, things. You know, focus on that. Focus on rejuvenating the relationships that actually really, truly matter. All right? Okay, Leo. That's it for you. Virgo. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. What have we got going on for our wonderful Virgos? I promise next time I will put this camera in a better spot, or this tripod, so I'm not hitting it with my hand and I'm not shaking it as much as I am, because that will annoy the shit out of me. Virgo. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. I know for some reason I feel like Virgos need a message. Y'all know that Fluff's a Virgo? I know a couple of Virgos. You probably need some messages. Message. The underworld, where all things pause and begin again. And then you have winter, the sadness of pausing. Well, don't those just hold hands right there? Okay, so the underworld, this would be like to your tune of a death card, right? Redevelopment, but you know what? Sometimes those deaths and redevelopments take a long time, and Virgos have no patience. So they want things in their time frame. They want to do things their way a lot. You know, it's a blessing and a curse for a Virgo, right? You know, to have that determination, have those systematics, have that. They thrive on consistency. They thrive on, you know, being able to, you know, count on things. They like routine. They like repetition. They, you know, they like it. But sometimes when things have to redevelop, they're like, fuck me, I gotta wait for that? Can't I just go do that? No, you can't. You have to wait. So let's get Underworld clarified here and see what the message is coming forward for Virgo. My cat is passed out right next to me. I just noticed that. Okay, we'll take them. They came out together, so we'll let them stay together. Give me one more card to clarify this Underworld card. Okay. So what I have is the Five of Wands in the reverse. So Five of Wands is usually conflict. You know, it's usually competition, conflict, things like that. When it's in the reverse, we tend to wanting to stay away from that. So right now, maybe things are transitioning for you in relationships, Virgo. Maybe things are going through a transition that's taking longer than you want. You know, it's things sometimes things that we're passionate about, we may not maintain that same consistent passionate level at all times. Just like when you're in a physical relationship, you know, do you always love your partner at the same volume every single day? No, some days they get on your fucking nerves, right? So that doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means that you're not like, oh my God, I work the ground you walk on every day, right? Okay, so sometimes when we're going through the process of ebb and flow and learning things about people, situations, whatever, we're expecting that same consistency. And when we don't have that same consistency, it puts us off guard. It makes us anxious and we're like, we don't know what to do, right? Happens with Virgos a lot. You know, the things that you strive for are to be happy, to have that 10 of Cups energy. 10 of Cups is a total completion of the cups, and it is something where you feel complete. Like, it can't get any better, right? But the Lover's card is in reverse. So there is some unharmonious situations going on. And in this, I'm seeing that, you know, where all things pause and begin again, where you're like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't want to fight. I just want happiness. But, you know, you want genuineness, all right? Pushing things to its limits is not going to be as organic as, you know, just letting it flow and letting it take as long as it needs. So for Virgos, sometimes you gotta, I know your goals. I know you're like, no, I want the final goal. Like, all right, fine, I'll do it your way, but I want the final goal. You know, sometimes it brings about, you know, us doing things superficially. And maybe you need to let go of that. Maybe you need to learn how to let things kind of go through the course. Seasons don't happen the way you want them to. They happen the way they want to. And I think we're all learning that, especially people of those in the more Eastern hemispheres that are like, is winter ever going to fucking end? So, I mean, we're heading into summer and it's snowing still. So, you know, that's, seasons work the way they want to, right? They don't work the way we want to. Just because our calendar says it's spring doesn't mean the temperature says it's spring, right? So that's what I'm getting from this. I'm getting, you know, it's going to happen. The seasons are going to change, but maybe they're not going to change to your specifications, and it's going to suck that you have to wait for those. You know, when a situation's going to change, yes, it's going to change, it's going to change. But you need to put in the work. You need to do, let things happen the way they're going to happen, because it's going to teach you a damn lesson. It's going to come to your benefit either way, but you don't want to taint something. Don't add more sugar to Kool-Aid that's already sweet. Guess what? You have to throw out the whole batch, right? We got to throw out the baby with the bathwater because we ruined it. So, because we wanted it our way. So yeah, you still get the message. It's just not the way it should have been delivered. It's because you put your damn ego into it. All right. So let's go ahead and clarify the winter card. And remember, I said these weren't going to take as long as my normal readings, but here we are, an hour in. All right, let's clarify this winter card. Get back in there. Plop. Uh-oh. There it is. I got it. Boom. One more, please. One more card, please. So I said one, but we'll take it. It had the message. It said it needed to come out. All right. So the sacredness of pausing. Okay, I've been saying sadness, but the sacredness, understanding that things have to pause. So, one second. Okay. Six of Swords. So you're moving on from something. You're moving on from something that wasn't in your, it's not in your bag anymore. And with the Sun card, bright new beginnings. You know, with winter does have to end. We know that. We know that it has to end. We know that the sun has to come out. We know that things have to change. You know, we know it's eventual. And new beginnings are in this, with the Sun card, it's bright, new, and beautiful. Okay. The Empress card in the reverse. So don't try to, like I said, right, with the Empress card, when things are happening naturally, when she's in reverse, it's happening unnaturally. So like I said, with the whole, if something's already sweet, don't try to add more to it, because then you're going to overly sweeten it. You're going to overly do something, right? So let things happen the way they need to happen. All right. I know what your goal is, Virgo, but you know, you gotta just let it be. All right. A lot of people, what I've noticed is they don't respect the process of much. They think they do, they say they do, but they don't really. And because they're like, no, 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 I know I can do better. I know this can be better. I know. They let their ego in. Remember, ego is things you think you know. So when they sit there and go, I know it can be like this. All right, cool. I'm glad you think that. All right. That's great to have that ambition. But what you need to remember is when we do things and we take them out of their natural flux, we are contaminating them with our ego. They don't come out the way the universe wanted, and we're doomed to repeat a situation. We're doomed to stay within those karmic cycles, and you don't want to do that. You do want the sun to come out. You do want, after winter, you do want the warmth, but don't pressure it, all right? And with the Empress card came out the King of Wands, respecting things. Be that self-respecting person. Be that person that respects the natural course of things. Don't, calm yourself down. Have a beer. Do whatever it is that calms you down out of your damn ego a little bit. And we're all guilty of it. We're all guilty when we're going through shit in life of being like, F it. I just want I want this to be done. I want this to be over with. And sometimes we have to wait it out, and it sucks. It totally sucks, but you got to do that. All right, Virgo, I think my messages for you have come through, and I'm going to move right along to our wonderful Libras, because they need some messages too. All righty. Ooh, look at that really cool apple card. Risk and... I thought that said another word. It says reward, but I thought it said something else. Risk and... yeah. All right. Maybe that's a message for somebody. It caught my eye, so maybe it's for somebody, right? All right, Libras. Let's get your messages from now until Halloween. Things that we need to be purging out of ourselves. Things that we need to be redirecting. Let's see. Let's see. Get back over there. Plop. We'll take it. Get into your holder. All right. And right here we have, I'm going to scoot these a little closer for right now. Dawn, the light after the darkness, it's just very synonymous with the Sun card. Black cat, fortune meets opportunity. Dang, Libra. Let's see. Let's clarify this. That sounds juicy. I like it. Libra got something going on, guys. Let's find out what that is. How y'all doing anyway? Everybody enjoying their Sunday? Oops, that one flew right out. That one said me first. Cool. I didn't have to work hard for it. The Nine of Swords can be read a couple of different ways, okay? So this is where I like keywords on cards sometimes, and sometimes not so much, okay? So the Nine of Swords right here, see the keyword is like torment. Because when it's, the Nine of Swords is in his upright, this person has got anxiety, depression, they got all them negative feels. In the reverse, it's like we're doing it to as to where it's all in their head. This is like you're doing it to yourself. So Another way to read this is letting go, purging. And that's more of the message that I'm getting from this card and this situation. Judgment in reverse. So when judgment's in reverse and when it's in the upright, rather, this is being fair, just, balanced, things like that. In the reverse, it is the opposite, right? You know, where it's like, I'm not going to hear out the, okay, let's look at it this way. Let's pretend that in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, if that had never happened, if Johnny Depp hadn't said, "Look here, you shit in the bed, bitch," if he had never done that and like stood up for himself and actually did the defamation case, most people would still be looking at him as a freaking abuser, you know, and stuff like that. Now we have light in situations that were dark at one point. Now he's like, wait a minute now. I protected her for no reason. And yes, it is Libra time. And so what happened is we were all making premature judgments on Johnny for what? Because we initially thought the first person who came out the door, even though she had burden of proof, we thought she was right. He was the first person to talk, right? And that's usually what happens. The first person that talks gets the sympathy, but the second person to talk gets your attention. And that's what's happening. So instead of jumping to the conclusions of things, you need to hear everything out. And, you know, that's where you'll start being able to reduce your anxiety, reduce things, you know, get rid of the things that are tormenting you mentally, getting rid of all that right there. All right. And the Five of Swords in the upright. So this is where you have a card that you see how he's holding up his swords, he's holding up their swords, and they're kind of running off doing the oh boo-hoos, right? Okay, so he won the battle, but at what cost? Right? Yeah, this is a conflict that, you know, that's a key word for it, but this goes so much more deeper. This is, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm winning the conflict, but at what cost? You know, having things go your way in the past, but at what expenditure? So let things happen the way they need to happen. Make no premature assessments on anything. Let go of things that are holding you down. Get rid of those anchors. Trade them in for some balloons or something. And, you know, don't jump into these conclusions. Don't sit there and I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to blah, blah, blah. I'm ready to make stuff happen. Let stuff happen. The big thing that I'm getting from these readings is people wanting instant gratification. And instant gratification is great and all, but it ain't authentic. So, yes, we like things fast, quick, and easy, but do we? Okay. So, Black Cat. Let's get some clarification for Black Cat. Fortune meets opportunity. Let's see what we got here. Right away, one out of the barn. Another one. And can I get one more? I'd like a third. Thank you. Landed on its side. We're going to take it. I do read cards on their sides when they land on them, typically, when I'm like, okay, this can go either way. And that's the way I read them. So Ace of Cups. We've talked about it. You know, having all those emotions, not having any emotions at all. Right here, you're like, I could take this either way. There's a situation happening. I could take it either way. But with the Two of Coins, you got to balance, because this could have to do with money. You got them coins right there, right? Right now, you got to balance stuff. You got to prioritize. You got to figure out what is actually making things, what's seasoning your soup, you know, and you got to balance out your life. You got to balance out things. You know, when you're coming out of a bad, dark situation, a lot of people are like, yes, I am going to just enjoy things and I'm going to run for that goal. Yeah, that's great. Okay, you're going to burn out real quick. Okay, so too much of a good thing is a bad thing, and too much of a bad thing is never a good thing. So prioritize. Make time for everything so you stay in the game. So you stay in the situation. All right? So, Three of Cups, celebratory energy, fortune meets opportunity. Something's going to come forward, but you got to balance yourself out. Don't get too wrapped up in how it feels and how it looks. Not all that glitters is gold, okay? So, Be okay with turning down something because it looks good. Look at the way it's going to serve you in the long term. Look at the way it's going to be able to apply into your future in the long term. So yeah, we see things happening quick, vibrant, and, you know, fast paced and everything. But does that always mean that those are the situations that we have to focus on? No, we learn from it, apply it, but we don't stay there, okay? Even the best situations, we don't live there, all right? You have to move on from everything. But you can always take what you've learned from it. I'm going to adjust this one more time because a little crooked. Okay. So, Scorpio. Scorpio. What have we got for our wonderful lobster-looking mofos in the zodiac? You know, my friend told me that a scorpion was a lobster and an arachnid that got together and had a drunken night and made a scorpion. A lobster, a crab, and a spider got together and made a love child, and they called it a scorpion. Either way, they glow under UV lights and they're a pain in the ass. If you've ever had one in your house, you know what I'm talking about. Alrighty. Well, you're absolutely welcome, Adam. Thank you for letting me apply some wisdom in your direction. Hopefully it made sense. I used to do life coaching, actually. Can you tell? Can you tell I used to do life coaching? The veil. The future. And the black cat. Black cat's back. The future and fortune meets opportunity. All right, Scorpio, what have you got going on? What have you got going on? I'm looking feisty with these cards. Let's see. Let's see what spices are coming forward. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. That one landed on its side, and I want to keep it that way. What landed on its side was this. So I'm going to put it right here. Okay. So we have the Queen of Wands. Remember, that's that fiery, exuberant energy that is, you know, oh, I know what I'm doing, how I'm getting there, and I know what's taking me there. That's the Queen of Wands. She is, and she's fiery too, so she's quick. So she likes things to go rapidly. She likes things to be the way they need to be according to her. And she likes things, like, she's just, you look at her, that's like, you know, if I could say the Queen of Wands, she's like a Beyonce. All right, maybe not everybody like Beyonce, but you got to admit, Beyonce, she sits there and goes, I have put my time, effort, and money into it, so I'm going to look at, you know, she's just that queen energy, all right? Queen of Swords in reverse. We already talked about thou art bitch, right? You know, this is when somebody's like, oh no. So she's the opposite of Beyonce. That's Beyonce after a bad Super Bowl game, bad Super Bowl halftime show, where she's like, you know, you didn't like it? Well, fuck you. You know, that's her, okay? All right? So we have the Six of Swords. So right here, you can take this kind of either way. It's either get out or stay in. All right. So the future right here. Oh gosh, you got some serious conflicting energy here, Scorpio. So there's days where you feel completely within your element, and some days where you're like, I am so out of my damn element. What do I do? What do I do? Here's the thing you need to do. You need to figure out what you need to do, how much you need to put in, and when you need to put out. But I don't mean it that way, okay? I mean, like, you know, not go in. Oh God, it's not getting any better. You need to figure out when it's not your turn, sister. That's what I mean. put out, then I don't care if it make you feel good, make you a queen, go ahead and put out. But if it putting out make you feel like the Queen of Swords and she's like, I don't want no party or okay, then don't do it. All right, don't do it. Learn discernment in every situation, and that's what I'm getting for the future. Remove that veil, remove that jadedness. Look at things for what they are, you know. Well, tell his little masked ass to get himself on over here. I got something for him too. Wait, let's pull a card for PLE. Well, there we go. Wishful thinking. Ha! Go show him that. Go show him that's like wishful thinking. You ain't getting nothing. You. Okay. I love when my cards talk to me. It's not Christmas or a birthday, right? I see everybody laughing at poor PLE's expense. Alrighty. The Black Cat. Fortune meets opportunity. So right here, okay, we have the World card. Now you're going to see this is where the keywords aren't going to apply to this situation as well. Because right here, it's like lack of closure. Okay, I get it. It's talking about cycles. So with your fortune meets opportunity, where you're going to find your draw to things that are going to enrich you, is going to, it happens in cycles for you. It's not, you know, one shoot off and it keeps going in that direction. Shoot off. But what it is it's a systematic of cycles. Lots and lots of cycles. So ups and downs all around, right? We're having a Freudian meeting right here because everything could be taken way out of context for Scorpio, but Scorpio is the sexual zodiac sign, so there you go. And right here we have the Temperance card. So right now, like right here with the World card being in reverse and the Temperance card even being in reverse, you know how you get to your fortune? Recognizing, understanding, you know, being graceful about things, you know, even though things are going to have their ups and downs and ebb and flows are going to be high and low and everything, you're like, you know what? That is my calling. My calling is to ride the tide. My calling is to make sure I'm aware that, you know, a dip isn't a goodbye and a high isn't a hello. It is a structuring of cycles. So when we're doing really good at work and we're meeting all of our goals and, you know, oh my God, I'm finally bonusing like crazy. This is great. And I'm going to keep doing this specific thing because it works so well. Next month, it didn't work for shit. And now you're like, oh, I thought I was going to have all this passive income come forward, you know, because it worked so great last week and I made my bonus. Well, this month was different. And instead of staying on top of the game and figuring out why that worked last month, you just stuck with it. And guess what? You're going to fall from grace. Who's talking smack? And, all right, so, because Fluff's back there laughing, so something's going on. PLE's what? He's gutted? All right, hold on. I got you, bro. Hold on. 1 second. I have a lover's deck somewhere. But that's what I'm seeing for you, Scorpio, is the obstacle isn't to overcome the circumstance. The obstacle that you face that kind of diverts you from your fortune meets opportunity is not seeing the gray, not seeing between the lines. Your focus is the between the lines because you're an observer. Not a whole lot gets past a Scorpio, believe it or not. I know, I was married to one. And they know you're lying before you ever opened your damn mouth. Like, okay, so don't try to fuck with Scorpio. I'm sorry. If you've got one, you live with one, you are one, anything, they are overthinkers and they are very intuitive. So if they tell you something, it may not even apply to them. They can be like, how am I going to listen to you, Scorpio? You don't have this kind of success. So how would you know about this kind of success? Well, let me sit you down here, Liberace, since you want to question me so damn much. I watched your dumb self. Now, in myself, it don't apply to, but I can tell it applies to you. Now, if you just listen, you'd have better stuff going on for you. Anyway, moving along. Sagittarius. Saggies. What have we got going on for our wonderful Sagittarius Yang? What? Well, you know what? Some people turn that intuition stuff off, though. Scorpios can be intuitive. One thing I always tell people is I love Scorpio women. I hate Scorpio men. Scorpio men can be so damn hard to deal with, and they can be so narcissistic, and they can be so full of their ego that they're just like jaded by stuff. You know, as a Scorpio woman, she quick to come sting your ass. And she will do it and sit there and go, I'm sorry, but I'm not. Like, I'm sorry you made me yell at you. That's what a Scorpion woman will tell you. Like, I remember my dad's a Scorpio, and I remember one time I told him, you know, you should really say sorry to me. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry you're stupid. And I was like, gee, Dad, thanks. Like, because I had done something stupid, and he called me out on it. And I was like, that's not nice. And he's like, well, I'm sorry you're dumb. Like, that is a typical Scorpio response. Gotta love him, though, right? Well, don't this just look familiar? And you know, well, I'm shuffling these cards, so... Saggy. There's a lot of people that need to get rid of the idea that they need to rush into everything. That's what I'm getting for this. You guys are sabotaging your own successes. And I think we all kind of do, don't we? Don't we trip on our own shit all the time? Well, I hope you're not tripping on your shit, literally, but tripping on your balls or anything else, right? Okay, so you there, you meh, and you meh. 9 of Cups. Dissatisfied. Okay. This card I love to use for most people. When the 9 of Cups is in the upright, he is, look at this little punk right here. So full of self-satisfaction, right? He's sitting here and he was like, I am good. I have done it. You know, not quite, because you're only a 9 instead of a 10. So when he's like this, and I know the keyword up here is dissatisfied. Well, he is dissatisfied. This is codependent energy. This is like, well, I, you know, and when it's a no, they sit there and they're like, fine, you know, nothing ever works out the way I want it to. That is this shit right here. 4 of Coins in the reverse. The 4 of Coins has always been my, like, this person is like a miser. This is like Ebenezer Scrooge of the tarot. I mean, look at these words right here. And they're very, very, like, on point. Like, this fool's like, mine. As to where he's like, but I don't feel like I'm getting anything. Well, I'm mine. You know, I mean, what kind of shit is this right here, you know? So, right here, he's just like, I'm not feeling good about anything, and I know in order to feel happy, I have to have worldly possessions. I have to have all of it in order to feel good. 5 of Coins. A lot of people, if you watch, you know, TikTok tarot or whatever the hell it is called, everybody will be like, oh, the intuitive meaning of this card is left out in the cold, and when it's like this, it's not. And blah, blah, blah. Okay, this literally means that you're struggling. All right, this means that you're in the process of not struggling. All right, so what you need to focus on here that I'm seeing is to stop worrying about what it is you think you need, what it is you think you want. This is telling you, let it be. It's going, you're smart enough to know how to get out of every sticky situation. So why are you sitting there like, oh my God, the world's falling down and I need to grab everything? It doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to grab everything. No. Take what you need. Leave the rest of that shit there. It's too heavy anyway, so don't worry about it. And just be calm. Be calm. All right? So that's what it's telling you here. At least that's what I'm getting from it. You might have gotten something different because I'm showing you guys the card so I don't have to do my job as hard. Wait a minute. Look at the cute kitty cat. My cat's still sleeping. Black cat. Let's clarify this black cat. Black cats are also symbolic of luck and all kinds of stuff. So you can definitely get into the energies of this in any way you wanted to. Boom. 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 Okay. All right. So, fortune meets opportunity. Right here, you get right off the bat, you have the Three of Cups. So getting out there and really celebrating, creating those partnerships, creating those meaningful relationships, enjoying things, being, being involved. All right. But you got this Queen of Coins right here, and she's in the reverse. So, when the Queen of Coins is in reverse, she's very imbalanced. She's very, and I hate saying she because there are no genders in the tarot per se. This is the side of you that really look at it like this. If I were to give, okay, quote, a woman a credit card for like $500,000 and told her, you can use as much of it as you want to. You have to pay it back in 1 year. When she's like this, she's going to go and pay her bills, right? She's going to be more practical. She's going to be like, all right, let me get the stuff I need, a little bit of what I want, and balance it out and spread it out to where I know I can make these payments and everything. When she's like this, she's like, oh, $500,000? Okay, I'm going to go buy a car. I'm going to go buy this. I'm going to go buy that. I'm going to get my nails in, my hair. She just doesn't care. She is like, you know what? She probably doesn't even have any intentions on paying it back anyway. She's like, screw it. As long as I get what I want, I'm going to be able to just like live off of that anyway. So it don't really matter. I'm not going to need anything for the rest of my life, blah, blah, blah. She's not focused on the beyond. She's focused on the want and greed factor. So we have the King of Coins, and with the King of Coins, he is a little bit, he's her counterpart, right? So he's the one that's more into the security of things, the more like, I'm in charge. All right. So I do talk some shit, so don't think I don't. But it's all good. I do my Queen of Swords mantra before I start my readings of, Lord, guide me in the strength to deliver the messages the way they need to be heard and not the way they want to be heard. So this is the balance that you need to find. This is the happy medium that you need to find is, being able to not come off your hinges with things. But you know what? Also, don't be so... with the Queen or with the King of Coins, he's so like to the book and strict that he doesn't know how to have fun. So the balance in between this is where your opportunities lie. You're going to miss opportunities because you're so focused on money and materialistics. But don't overspend. Don't overdo it. And that's how you will find that you are able to be a bit more successful and experience a bit more. All right. Here we go. So we just did Sagittarius, right? Capricorn? Capricorns. Yes, I too forget what sign I'm on sometimes. I always have to have someone nearby. Well, I mean, I've seen Liberace's grave. Have you seen that thing? No. Yeah, he's got like a big old monument. Like, you all thought Michael Jackson's grave was fancy. Liberace's got, well, he's buried with his family too, so. Yeah, that guy was luxurious. Like, I mean, he was crazy, but he was luxurious, right? And we all can't be right all the time. Capricorn. No. Should we take it or should we get another? I'm kind of just like melted out. You guys make the call. Do we take it? Is there a Capricorn in here that just take it or leave it? Which one? It's bubbling. So this is the first card. Huh? Melt it? Okay, all right, we'll melt it. We'll melt it. It fell out for a reason, right? What do we got here? What is these cards keep popping out? And I am shuffling this dang deck. You've seen me do it. All right. We've explained these, but in case somebody wants to do the flip through, happiness in our hearts and homes and the underworld, where all things pause and begin again. So this is about cycles. So this will be your turn of the world card, you know, things like that, where it's cycles. And the hearth card, its counterpoint is more along the lines of like the Empress is what I kind of get from this one. That might be wrong, but I kind of get that, where she's focused on that nurturing aspect and nurturing things in the home. So let's clarify things for the Capricorn. I have to kind of, anytime I do a Capricorn reading, I have to drop my ego, because I am a Capricorn, and Capricorns can be a little bit, we can have a little ego. We're more hyper focused is what I tend to believe, but I have to drop my ego out of it so that I can read for others and stop trying to apply everything to me. Boom. Okay. So starting off with this one, we have homecoming. You know, look at the 4 of Wands. Look at this. This is happy life, you know, happy vibe, happy life, you know, just really enjoying, you know, this is very synonymous with like wedding arches. So some people read this as like, what, you know, starting a new marriages, things like that. But it is, you know, really focusing on the inner relationships, things within the home. And with the 9 of Swords, you've got a lot of emotions, anxieties, depressions, things that you worry about. And with the King of Wands energy in the reverse, okay, the reason why there isn't a whole lot of harmony in the home right now, number one, you worry too damn much, and it's causing you to react in a very unsavory manner. You know, maybe you're spewing a lot more hate or more aggression than you normally do, as a result of having your expectations on everything is like it has to be perfect. And when it's not, it really, really wears on you. And it causes strife. It causes things to not be that happy and harmonious thing that you need to work on and you need to focus on, okay? So maybe instead of just, you know, really thinking like, oh, you know, it has to be perfect, it has to look and be and act a certain way, just let it be what it is. Take things as they come. And yeah, there's still going to be some anxious moments, some depression, some sleepless nights, but it may reduce how often this happens and actually provide you with something where you're more sensible and honoring. Okay? So let's find out how to apply this underworld card. Put your underwear card on. Where's Jax at? Isn't this his card? I go hitting that damn tripod again. Okay. Bouncing the table. Alrighty. Wheel of Fortune. Right now things are changing, where all things pause and begin again. So maybe you're coming out of the pause and we're starting again with this turning point. Or you might be going into a pause. Either way, it's a fluctuation of, you know, cycles. But with the Wheel of Fortune, usually this means, you know, good luck. Things changing into a more luxurious form. With the Tower card, to me, this really does seem like you came out of something, Capricorn. Now you're getting into the part where you're like, okay, all that stuff has been gone through, worked through. Now we're going to start enjoying the new. So with the Tower card, when it's in its upright, this is, you know, everything burning and everything, you know, this is the cycle of the storm. All right. Everything is, you know, I mean, need I say more, right? When it's in the reverse, this is usually you're at the point of the transition has occurred. Everything's burnt down. Now you're left with the foundation to build up from. Okay, so right here it also gives you the keyword of narrow escape. So sometimes you're like, you know, I made it out of the burning tower. I made it out, but barely, you know. But when we make it out of those narrowing or those harrowing situations, in those really, really dramatic situations, we learn so much. All right, so we have the Three of Wands in the reverse. You're going to have to battle things as they come. All right, you've got some things you need to work through, a lot of things you need to work through in order to have these cycles fluctuate into the more of the fruitious portion instead of the stop and wait. All right, so now we're at the point where you're going to have done your shadow work. You're going to have figured out what your lows are. You're going to have had those talks with yourself being like, all right, how do I motivate myself forward? How do I realign and refocus on, you know, keeping myself focused on the go instead of the stop, or focused on the aspect that, you know, I constantly want things to be coming together and be harmonious and happy. And, you know, because Capricorns really like being able to, I'm trying, there's the word coming to me and it hasn't came to me yet. And I'm trying to focus on what that word might be. But Capricorns like things to evolve. We also, God, we're such workaholics. That's the thing. You know, and when we work so hard on something, even when we do shadow work or interpersonal work, we're like, okay, I'm ready to go now. I'm ready to go now. And in the past, Capricorn, you've had something happen to you that you came out of. You barely made it through that, and you're still working your way through it. That's what I'm definitely getting. But on this, what I will tell you is everything that you've gone through has empowered you, has made you stronger, has made you more, it's your flex, you know. And it sucks. I know it's like some people get through life a lot easier than others. I haven't met a Capricorn yet that's like, oh yeah, I just flew through this like a breeze. You know, we've always had to go through the battle. All right. Now, what keeps you in those cycles is not knowing why you went to battle, not learning from the battle. Put those into practice, put those into perspective. Okay, Capricorn? All righty. So, Aquarius. Aquarius. What messages have we got for Aquarius for the next 6 months? Let's see what Aquarius needs to purge, realign with, refocus on. What have we got going on for you? Well, there's finally a new card. Took the Aquarians to get it. There's another new card. The Aquarians are like, nah, I'm going to do this different. The rest of y'all, all stick together. I'm going to do this different. So, we have here the Death card. The eternal cycle begins here. So, it's like that, you know, fire to the phoenix type thing where what has ended, and now we begin anew. Skeleton, strength. Your foundations, your cores, your belief, everything that is innate within you, your structure, your root, all of that. So this has knocked you down, or this is telling you to knock yourself down to the bare bones minimum, the basics, the primals. All right? Get rid of all that other shit. Get rid of the ego. Get rid of the ideas. Get rid of, no. The focus is what is real, what is instinct, nothing else, no fluff, no fold, right? All right, so that's definitely what I'm getting from there. And as an Aquarian moon, where Aquarius is more of my emotional sign, I can definitely tell you there are times where we, as you know, Aquarians need to be told that, because they can have, being an air sign, most people think Aquarians are water signs, and they're not. They're air signs. They can get lost in their head real easy. So, oh, that was loud. Sorry for anybody wearing headphones. So, let's put some clarifiers on this death card here for Aquarius within the next 6 months. Okay, look at all these skeletons. Bam. Do. And there. Okay, so I'm going to slide this back a little bit so you guys can see more of the cards. So we have the Eight of Coins, and this is like learning new trade. This is like learning anew. All right, focusing on your work, focusing on redevelopment, focusing on learning, focusing on like just being hyper focused on your work, to be honest with you. Whatever that may be, that might actually be, considering it's coins, it's probably tangible things. So it's probably things you need to work on within your business, your personal self. You know, this isn't just stuff that's caught up in the concept of the mind. This is caught up in your reality, because coins are tangible. So right here, we also have temperance. And this is like balance, moderation. You know, don't overwork to overachieve, because you need to build that consistency. All right. And with this Four of Wands, this is like, you know, coming. So this is redeveloping yourself for a more stabilizing purpose within yourself. That's the big thing, is working on the stability. And that's when the true fruition of happiness and building that foundation and building that systematic that you can carry on for the long term and the long haul. And that's definitely, that's a hardcore fixed message. And I'm going to leave that one at that. So let's get some guidance for the skeleton card for the strength. So where are we going to be pulling our strength from? What strengths do we need to like let go of? That's kind of the focus of this card. You know, where do we need to take this? All right. So give me 3. Bang, bang, bang. Okay. So with that, I know with PLE, I showed you guys this card. It was the wishful thinking card. But this can also just mean options. Abundance of options, okay? Basically, what this can mean is, you know, the paths are open. You just get to kind of choose what you want to do now. Like, you've left all the other shit behind. Now you can go forward. But how do you want to go forward? Where do you want to gather your strengths? And right here we see in the card that he's got, like, all these different options. All right? And so that might be your flex, is that you came out of something to give yourself a new, just like a whole new beginning, and you get to choose kind of where you go with that. And some people spend their whole lives trying to get to that point. So that's really awesome for you, Aquarius. And right here you have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords, he's youthful. He's, you know, ready to go to his first battle. So he's ready to take it on. And as you can see, the keywords right here are ready for anything. But he's just very much like, he doesn't really know everything as like in terms of like what, you know, a king or even a knight of swords would know. But he's like, doesn't matter. I've built up for this opportunity and I'm here to do it. So you've got the ambition. You've got the desire. These are really good cards to have in a triangular. So right here, you need to recognize what you have been through. Do not forget the struggles that you've went through to get to this point. Just because you got new awesome shit coming your way does not mean that it is stable completely. Even though your flex is going to be that you've overcome and you've given yourself this, you know, humility, humbleness needs to come into the power play, okay? So that's something that you need to focus on. Get rid of the ideas that, you know, oh, well, if I've overcome, so I'm going to stay overcame. No. That's not how it works. Overcoming something, hitting that turning point, usually means that you're going to be going through stuff continuously. And as long as you take the advice, as long as you understand what brought you from this situation into these situations, you will always be able to have that endurance and that stamina to continue when it does come back around. Okay. All right, Aquarius. And last but not least, our wonderful Pisces, the end of the zodiac, the ones that get everything thrown at them. All right, Pisces. Let's see what we got to focus on for the next 6 months. Purge, reevaluate, restructure, you know, because we want to go into new situations knowing where we need to redevelop. And with the spring coming up, by the way, happy May Day, blessed Beltane. This is a time where we're really redeveloping because spring's here and we're able to redevelop ourselves. We want to maintain that change. We want to maintain that towards the next season going out where we have to purge things outward. So that's why I chose this style for the reading. Ooh. Vampire. And joy. So Pisces, rejoicing in the present, and vampire, emotional intelligence. See, vampires can read people. Okay, you've seen the movies, we've watched them, we've read the books, we've seen the movies, right? They sit there and they analyze things, right? They analyze their prey. And they can control things. They are very, you know, vampires are all Aquarian energy. I can tell you that right there. And a little bit of the strength card. So they understand, they study things. It's like if you're a predator, you're going to understand your prey, how it operates, so you're always fed, right? Okay, that's kind of how vampires work. So let's get some clarification on that joy card. Clarify this joy card for Pisces. Let's see what direction they need to go in. How to apply this. I also do want to congratulate my brother PLE on his amazing success with his video for the abandoned car graveyard. If you have not checked that out, please do so. It's a really cool video. He stumbled on a true gem in the urbex world, and his video is done phenomenal. And I want to actually just really shout him out for all of his successes, because he is definitely somebody who has come dramatically far. Even from last year, from when I first really came into his life to now, is a complete, not necessarily a completely different person, but just a completely refocused and realigned person. And that is something that I think deserves all the standing ovation and applause in the world, because that's somebody who had enough faith in himself to carry on, but had a lot of circumstances that would have beaten anybody else down. So if you guys will take a moment to really, really applaud Mr. Past Life Explorer, my brother Plevis, Mr. PLE himself, on the astronomical success of his video. I think he's at 45K views on that video as it stands right now. And also, I invite everybody to go straight to Channy's Unexplainable Adventures, and she released her video on her aspect of that car graveyard, equally as amazing and equally as, you know, intriguing. She brings in her pack of the punch, where she brings in a little tinge of the paranormal and her quirky self, and that video deserves twice as many views. So yeah, if you haven't checked that out, please run and do so after this video. Joy, rejoicing in the present. You also have homecoming. So this is really focusing on home, focusing on grounding yourself in your home environment, in your stability environment. Right here with the Fool card, it's telling you to just do it. Whatever it is that you need to do, you need to just go do it and sit there and be okay with it, come what may. If that means like You know what? I've always wanted to travel. Go travel. Go do it with your homeboys, your homebodies. You know, focus on the things. Like, I've always wanted to redo my cupboards in my house. I've always wanted to redo that. Go do that. Focus on the things that are stable, tangible, things like that in your home, in your core, in your purpose. All right. Ace of Coins is prosperity and new opportunities with tangible things. So go do the things you can hold on to. Go do the things that you can touch. Go out there and really invest in you, though. This is about you. All right? Not about, you know, Tom and Brad and all and Sarah and all her. No. This is your turn. Okay? This is very focused on you, Pisces. Okay, so let's clarify that emotional vampire right there. That it's emotional intelligence, and it's really wanting you to kind of, with that reading going into this reading, I am definitely seeing that correlation of being smarter than what the world has made you feel. All right, be smarter about it. You know, it's the world will do whatever it takes to build somebody up and then break them down and build them up again. And that's definitely a vibe I'm getting from this reading for you, Pisces. Okay. I have the Temperance in reverse. So right now with the emotions, like you're imbalanced with things. I get it. All right. It's one of those things where you're like, you know, some days I feel great. Some days I know myself better than anybody else. And some days and then the life throws a curveball at me and I fuck myself. Okay. I get it. But you know what? Understand that that's going to happen no matter what. All right. That's part of the cycles of life. So know yourself better with that Knight of Wands energy. Okay. This is just all about having the strength and bravery, being daring, being courageous enough to just be like, I'm going to do it. Okay. And with the Page of Cups in reverse, what I'm seeing here is like, this could be, some people would be like, well, this is immaturity, not being aware of yourself emotionally as much. But what I'm seeing right here is it's maybe telling you to either drop that immaturity or actually add it into things. Because right here with the emotional intelligence and this emotional immaturity, there's a balance, there's a power play here. And with this daring card and the imbalance card, like there's a lot of imbalance. It's really wanting you to get straight. That's a big thing that's going to bring you the joy. And this is telling you to get straight with yourself. All right. And if that means that you need to be a little bit more playful, be a little bit more playful. And if that's saying you're overly playful, be a little bit more stern on yourself. And that's really the correlation that I'm seeing here. These are really the directions. Good night, Brandy, sis. I love you. Thank you for joining us as long as you could. Much love to you, sis. That's totally the message that I'm pulling from all that, Pisces. And I did want to pull a special card for my awesome bro, Mr. Plevis. I want to give him specifically, even though I didn't ask his permission, but I don't think he'll kill me for this, but I want to give him a special message of direction for him within the next 6 months, because he's got the pink cloud coming his way. You know, he's had some success, but I want to see in the next 6 months how he needs to utilize it to keep it going. One more. Winter, the sacredness of pausing, and zombie, which is control. Okay, so these could be taken two different ways, or many different ways, but the two different ways is like, sometimes you need to not worry about controlling everything, not worrying about specific outcomes, not trying to control things that need to go their own specific way, but let me just get a couple of clarifiers on these. Just to be sure of what that message entails for him. So what I'm going to do is use these 3 cards for those 2 cards. Awakening, learning, gathering your strengths, okay? When things pause, when they go through the amazingness of, you know, the ups and downs, you need to be aware, awakened, focused, conscious, okay? That's the big thing for you right now, Mr. Path Life Explorer, is being aware, being awakened, knowing that you need to be very, very conscious of what's going on, okay? Page of Coins. In the reverse, when things don't progress, because Page of Coins in the upright is all about making that progression, about making that stride forward, the opportunities. When those don't present itself, don't get caught up in the control. Don't get caught up in the I need to change it. Don't get focused on that because it will drain. Don't let your ego focus in on it. What you need to do is be conscious of what you learned in the awakening. Okay? Keep that as your main focus. If you can do that, you will create the prosperity that you're looking for. Okay? So, I have a couple of channels that I would like to shout out. I have the wonderful and awesome team of Go Get 'Em Paranormal. They are focused within my description box below. If you have not checked out their awesome channel, Jenna, Sugar, and the rest of the gang are phenomenal. They bring exceptional content in the realm of paranormal, true crime, and beyond. They go to amazing locations. They provide us with amazing content. Their editing is so on fleek. We don't say fleek anymore, do we? Well, I did. Anyway, but they have some really exceptional content. You should definitely check them out. Also, please check out the sweet and amazing Cassie at Oracles and Beyond. She's my second Focus Spotlight channel. She does phenomenal readings, and she goes live way more than I do. But today she also had the amazing Chad and Molly reading on her channel, and they provide such epic readings, such a smooth, chill vibe. Definitely a channel I suggest you check out. Subscribe if you haven't. They do a lot of oracle readings. They're just constantly providing that influx of information, guidance, serenity, peace, all of that. You definitely don't want to miss that channel. You definitely don't want to miss Go Get 'Em Paranormal either. And you also don't want to miss Past Life Explorer. You don't want to miss Channy's Unexplainable Adventures. And me and Miss Channy, my beautiful epic sister, have some really awesome stuff coming forward into the realm of seances and divination and things like that. We will have new projects going forward as the Seance Sisters and bringing you a lot of content with that in the up and coming. So there is just so much going on. We have the YouTube family reunion coming up in the beginning of June, so there will be a lot of epic collaborations, a lot of amazing content going forward. Fluff had the videos for his portion of the halfway to Halloween, but unfortunately I had some issues with a lot of editing, and so I kind of dropped the ball on those, but they will be coming out. There is going to still be a lot of epic content. Next year's halfway to Halloween, now that we've worked out some of the bugs, should be a lot more stronger. If you haven't checked out Adventures with Nubs' stream with Double D Paranormal, they did a really epic live stream for halfway to Halloween. And if you type halfway to Halloween in the search bar of YouTube, you will pull up a lot of interesting videos. A lot of people love celebrating this month because it gets us as a segue going into Halloween. We are now in the portion where we're not coming out of that season. We're going back into that season. We just got to get through summer. So I want to thank every single person that stuck with me for the hour and forever that this video was. And I want to thank everybody for their positive vibes, for the continued support, for the shout outs, the sharing, everything. You guys are phenomenal in getting me to the 1400 mark in the subscriber count. That was an awesome surprise that I came across the other day. I was just checking my analytics and I was like, hey, I have 1400 subscribers. Cool. And to all my new subscribers, I hope that this channel greets you well and that you are able to get some awesome advice out of it. And if so, please go ahead and share me out amongst your friends, family, relatives, the person at the corner gas station, whoever that may be. Also, please check out Exploring with Fluffy's channel. He has some, like I said, he has some epic content coming forward. He's got a lot of really cool live streams planned. He's got some taste testing. He's got some paranormal. He's got some really good stuff, and you definitely don't want to miss any of that. With that being said, I once again love you all, and I wish you guys the best 6 months going into Halloween. I wish you the most amazing week this week, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.